What is up, everybody? It is JT Sports back to you guys with another NFL training camp preview. This time, I'm here with my guy, Philly 500. He's on to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles going into training camp for us. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? I am so happy to be here on JT Sports. Been watching for a while now. I really appreciate you inviting me on. It's an honor, man. It's an honor.
Hey, man, it's an honor to have you. It's not a lot of Philadelphia Eagles YouTubers out there, at least ain't none I could find for real. So, it's great. It's a great thing to have you on, man. I'm really happy to have you on, man. And I'm really interested in Philadelphia. Before we get into it, tell the people where they can find you if they don't know about you already.
My YouTube channel is Philly 500. Type in Philly 500, Philly.500. And I should come up. Pretty easy to find if you type that in, and you could find me there. I do a lot of Eagles content, a lot of Philly content, and then I stream every Eagles game from preseason on and many more games. So that's where you can find me.
When you look at Philadelphia, man, as an Eagles fan, I know this has to be a really tough offseason, and I think that last year is pretty much a really tough and stressful year. And it looks like this year, man, may be really tough and stressful also. But I'm trying to tell people the Eagles may be the worst team in the NFL this season. But from a roster standpoint, I can't really see it. Like, I understand where people are coming from, but I really don't understand where the roster is just so, awful. Because the offensive line, if people can stay healthy, because it is a little bit up there in age, okay, the offensive line is decent. You got questions at wide receiver. We don't know what to expect out of Jalen Hurts, even though I'm pretty high on them. So, like, how are you feeling about this offense going in? Like, what is the position that you are the most confident in and that you have the least amount of confidence in going into training camp?
When we talk about confidence, we're talking about both sides of the ball or just on the offensive side?
Just on the offensive side for right now.
So here's what I'll say. It's been a crazy offseason. I was not in favor of trading Wentz. I thought they should have gave him one more year. That being said, he is gone, and Jalen Hurts is the guy now. Now, I thought Jalen Hurts showed a lot of promise in the 4 games he played. Does that mean I know he's going to be the guy? No, I have no idea whether he's the guy or not. I know he's got a lot of talent. There's things about him that I like, but we have to wait and see. I would say if you look at the Eagles offense, right, and you kind of hit the nail on the head, there may be a lot of young guys, a lot of changes, but if that offensive line with Brandon Brooks, Lane Johnson, Jason Kelsey, if they stay relatively healthy, they're one of the better offensive lines in the league. Now, one of the guys that I think gets really underappreciated in Philly, and it's not the fans, it's basically the way Doug Peterson used him, and I think he's going to have a monster year, is Miles Sanders. I think Miles Sanders is set to break out this year because I think the Eagles are going to run the ball a lot more, and I think he's going to be very good. Now, if we get a good offensive line with good running back play, I think the Eagles will be competitive in this division. The weakest part of that offense that I worry about the most is just the inexperience of the wide receivers. I think that there are a lot of young guys, not Devontae Smith. I think Devontae Smith is a stud, and I think he's going to be a stud from day one. But who's the other wide receiver? You have Quez Watkins, you have Travis Fulgham, you have all these guys that are going to compete for that number 2 wide receiver. You could put Rager in the slot. So to me, how those guys kind of mature and grow within the season, I think is probably my biggest question mark. Unless you want to say Jalen Hurts, which is fair if you want to say that too. But I have high hopes for him.
I've been telling people this, like, over the last couple of weeks, that Philadelphia could end up having one of the best rushing attacks in the league this year. You look at what Miles Sanders can do, and if they utilize Jalen Hurts the proper way with his running ability, and they run a similar offense to what Baltimore runs with Lamar, like, I definitely feel like this could be a really good rushing attack this year. Now, you look at the receiving core, I told everybody, I said that Devontae Smith is going to be a future Hall of Famer because coming from somebody who played wide receiver in high school, he was one of the guys who I tried to model my game after. And I try to tell people, like, the best football players are the ones who are undersized, who don't have all of the physical attributes, because you look at Jamar Chase, he has it all, but a guy like Devontae Smith doesn't have that size. He doesn't have, elite game-changing speed, even though his game speed is way more faster than probably what he'll run in a 40. And I tell people, when you don't have those tools, those attributes, you have to make up for it elsewhere. And what he makes up for it is football IQ, the small things, the way he attacks, leverages, changes up the speed of his routes. Like Devontae Smith is a nerd playing football. So you look at Devontae Smith, I'm looking at Travis Fulgham and Greg Ward Jr. Now, Greg Ward Jr. is a guy who I've been pretty high on. He was a converted quarterback coming out of Houston. He's been a pretty pleasant surprise. Like, I think that he probably has been the Eagles' best or number 2 option over the last couple of seasons. So, like, who do you think is going to end up being that number 2? Do you think it's going to be Travis Fulgham or Greg Ward, or is there somebody else in that mix?
Well, if we base it upon draft picks, we got to say, well, we hope it's Rager, right? What I think they're going to do with Rager is I think he's going to play primarily in the slot, which may cut Ward's, snaps down. The question is, who's going to be that other outside receiver? The guy to watch out for, in my opinion, is Quez Watkins. I really like Quez Watkins a lot. And he got limited snaps last year, but he really came on at the end of the year. I do like Travis Fulgham too, so it's going to be a battle. One of the things that we got to definitely talk about that I didn't talk about is the tight ends. You got Zach Ertz, a Eagle great tight end. Then you have Dallas Goedert. Now, Zach Ertz most likely is not going to be on this roster. I still think the Eagles are looking to trade him, and they're reportedly trying to get a contract extension with Dallas Goedert. In the past, one of the things the Eagles have liked to do a lot is go 2 tight end sets, 12-man personnel. They're kind of getting away from it this year, so I expect a much faster offense. But Dallas Goedert, I'm very high on him also.
So is there another tight end that could possibly be in the fold? Because once Dallas Goedert is gone, once Zach Ertz is gone, Dallas Goedert is going to be your number 1. Is there a number 2 behind him?
You got what's this guy's name? Oh, God, what's his name? Rogers. Oh man, I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head. They got man, why can't I think of his name? Hold on, I can't think of his name. Richard Rogers. That's what it is. Why I draw a blank. Richard Rogers is back. So they got him. He'll be the number 2 tight end. They got this kid, Jack Stoll, undrafted rookie. They bringing him in. And, we'll see what they have there. I mean, I like Richard Rogers, but, I don't know. I think you're going to lose Zach Ertz, right? So you're definitely going to, you're not going to be as good as if you had Ertz and Dallas Goedert. But I think Dallas Goedert, being younger and being that Ertz is up there in age and wants the contract extension, you have to go that way. And Richard Rogers, when he played, he was good for us, at least from an offensive standpoint.
Now, before we get into it, you guys make sure to check out my guy Philly 500 on YouTube. All you have to do is type in Philly 500, and I will have the link to his channel down in the description and the pinned comment section down below. So when you look at this defense, I definitely feel like this defense has a little bit more work than what the offense is. Because I think for the offense, all you really need is for your best offensive lineman to stay healthy and for at least Jalen Hurts and everybody else to be serviceable. Defense is a different animal. So, I mean, I'm going to let you choose where you want to start off at. Where on this defense do you want to start off at?
I think if we look at the Eagles and we look at this defense, it's always predicated on the defensive line. So we could start at the defensive line because I think that is the strength for this defense. It's their defensive line: Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, Brandon Graham, Derek Barnett, Josh Sweat, all those guys. I mean, the defensive line is the key. They brought in Ryan Kerrigan this year. So that's always their bread and butter. That's the strength of their defense. Now, if we move out and we go, let's say, to the cornerback situation, you have Darius Slay then you have a gigantic hole. There is a gigantic hole at the cornerback position, and many people expect the Eagles to go ahead and sign a corner to come in and start there. So I'm expecting a move at corner. I think it's going to be happening probably closer to camp and when Zach Ertz is traded, because they need the cap space.
So, I mean, right now, who are the corners who are in that mix right now to be that?
You have Darius Slay and Avonte Maddox. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's really all they have. They only, who can play on the outside. So you really need another outside corner. I don't see how they're going to get away from it. I mean, they drafted a kid, Zeke McPherson, but he's a fourth rounder. You don't know what you're getting out of a fourth rounder. They're going to have to bring in another corner. I don't see any way around it. The people want Steven Nelson. That's who everybody wants. But we'll see.
So when you look at linebacker has also kind of been something that I've seen Philadelphia Eagles fans worried about over the last couple of years.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. Linebacker has been really, really a bad, weak position for us over many, many years. Okay. We really haven't been good. No question about it. So that's a giant question mark. We have a lot of young guys, this year. So we'll see.
Could you guys reunite with Jordan Hicks? Because, Arizona's looking to ship him off.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who are thinking, maybe trade Zach Ertz to Arizona and bring back Jordan Hicks. I don't see that happening. They brought in Eric Wilson from Minnesota. I do like him, but that's a one-year deal. You have young guys like Sean Bradley, Alex Singleton, who, he came on last year. I don't know how good he could be, but they have some young guys, but I don't know that they have anybody that you could say, yeah, this is the guy. There's a lot of guys. I think there's a lot of young talent. TJ Edwards is another guy that I really, really like, So we'll see. It's always a problem for the Eagles. No question about it,
How you feeling about safety? Because you got signed, I think you got signed the safety from Minnesota. I can't think.
Right. Harris. Yeah.
Yeah. So who else is going to be playing alongside him at that other safety spot? Or is that another?
That's a great question, really. Rodney McLeod has been basically our veteran safety at this point, right? So you have Rodney McLeod. He's been there for a while. You bring in Anthony Harris. And then really there's a giant question. Now, I don't know, Rodney McLeod's coming off injury. So I don't know how effective he's going to be. And the guy that I really think needs to step up at the safety position is Kevon Wallace. Kevon Wallace, who drafted a year ago, he needs to step up and be something. So safety is a question mark. I like Anthony Harris. Rodney McLeod, like I say, he's coming off injury. So when you're coming off an injury and you're a little older like that, I don't know. But I think there's definitely some question marks at the safety, at the corner, and at linebacker. All three of them, big questions.
Now, a big question I have is how confident are you in this new coaching staff, and what are some things that you're looking for during training camp? Because there were a lot of people who were really critical of the head coaching hire that you guys made. He had this really awkward press conference when he first got introduced. Yeah. I don't like to pass judgment on people because, some people just aren't good at interviews like that. So, what are some things that you're hearing?
Well, I mean, everybody kind of gave him a lot of crap at his introductory press conference, right? They said, oh, he's horrible. Listen to him talk. He was nervous. I mean, the guy was nervous, obviously. Okay. However, when you listen to him talk, he's relaxed. He knows what he's talking about. He knows football. And I really think one of the big reasons they brought him in and this coaching staff was because they need somebody who can develop the talent on his team. I think Doug Peterson, as great as he was, and he won us a Super Bowl, they had a problem getting these young guys to develop. They had a problem with getting the talent that they had to work with the offense they wanted to run. And I think the strength of this coach is going to be the ability to basically adjust your scheme to the talent around you and then develop the young talent and the young guys you have. That's, I think, really the strength from what I'm hearing of him. I don't worry about all the press conference stuff. I think that's so overblown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That has nothing to do whether he could coach.
Everybody wants a Dan Campbell. Everybody wants to, take the kneecaps out and things like that, and everybody loves a Dan Campbell. But I tell everybody this: Dan Campbell could be a very good car salesman. Okay, you can sell somebody a car, but the question is, how good at you when it comes to fixing up these cars? So really, I don't care if you can sell me a car. I want the guy who's the mechanic, who's going to fix the car, who's going to get the car on the road.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with you. So but look, it's hard because we're trying to figure out a guy who hasn't coached one game yet, right? So I don't know. I know what they say, and my gut tells me I think he's going to be a good coach, but we got to see. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, man. So you look at Philadelphia, like I said, this definitely, I can understand. I don't understand, and I do understand. So this team is expected by many people to be the worst team, or at least be the second worst team behind the Houston Texans this year. And I understand that, but I don't think the roster is that bad that they actually could have that happen. So, I mean, how bad or how good do you feel Philadelphia is going to be this year?
Yeah, well, this is always a contention with my Cowboy friends and Giant friends and everybody that I'm going back and forth with, right? Because here's what I say. I don't think the Eagles are Super Bowl contenders. I don't think they're going to the Super Bowl. I don't think they're going to the NFC Championship game. However, they have a fourth place schedule. They have guys coming back like Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, right? You get Fletcher Cox healthy. You're getting all these guys back healthy. If we're just going to assume, for argument's sake, that everybody relatively stays healthy within this division, this isn't a great division. The Giants won, 5 games last year? Washington has no quarterback. Dallas has no defense. There is no reason why the Eagles cannot compete in this division if they stay healthy, especially that offensive line. So I tell everybody that the Eagles are going to be competitive in the division. They have a chance to win this division. And when I say it, then the Cowboy fans go off, the Giant fans go off. They think I'm crazy. But what's so great about their teams? This is not a great division. So I think the Eagles can win the division, and I think they can be competitive within the division. I don't think they're going to win only 3 games or win only 4 games. I don't think they're the worst team in the league. I think they have enough vets that they won't be. But a lot of it is going to depend on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the key. And to me, the key to Jalen Hurts is Miles Sanders in the running game. Yep. We talked about Miles Sanders. We also got Kerryon Johnson. You got Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and then they drafted Kenneth Gainwell, who I really like.
Do you still got Corey Clement?
No, he's actually signed with the Giants. So traitor, but no, just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I think they can be competitive within the division. I think that's fair. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the league. I don't think they're going to be the bottom 3 of the league. I think they can win anywhere from 6 to 7 games at the low end to 10 at the high end. That's what I think.
One more guy I want to ask you about before we let you go is my guy, Andre Dillard. Now, he had a pretty good rookie season. Last year, didn't really hear that much about him. So, is he going to be a starter or what?
Andre Dillard has been a disappointment. He came in, he was drafted, he played a few games at left tackle his rookie year, and he was doing good. And then the Eagles decided that they needed him to move to right tackle. So they put him at right tackle, and of course that confused him. And ever since then, it's been a problem. Then last year he was hurt and he was out all year. In the meantime, Jordan Mailata has really developed into a really seemingly to be a good left tackle. So
you essentially have 2 good left tackles.
We could have two good left tackles, and Jordan and then Andre Dillard. I'm hearing great things about him in camp, but in the mini camps and stuff. But you don't know if they're just trying to build him up to trade him. You don't know what's going on. So, I would say that as of right now, if I had to do a depth chart, I would have him behind Jordan Mailata as the starting left tackle.
Hell, as a Steelers fan, I'll take him. At left tackle, I rather it's really hard to find a good, not even just good, just to find an average left tackle.
Right. No, I agree. It's not. And if we can get something for him, I'm all for it. If you want to give us one of your nice Steeler linebackers, I'll take it. Any day of the week.
we can give you Robert Spillane, our backup who replaced Devin Bush. He was pretty good.
Yeah, I'll take him. We could use help at linebacker.
So everybody, this is my guy, Philly 500. Once again, thank you for coming on. Let the people know one more time where they can find you.
You can find me Philly 500, Philly.500, Philly just 500, Philly space 500. I pop up pretty easy, so you should be able to see me there.
All right, everybody. This is Philly 500. Make sure that you guys go ahead, subscribe to his channel. I'll have it down in the comment section down below. And I appreciate you for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.